All right, so today we're going to talk about the double haul and the reasons why you need a double haul when you're saltwater fly fishing. Quite frankly, without it, you will not be successful. So let's first talk about what does it do for you? Well, one, in saltwater fly fishing, we have to throw longer in most cases. A lot of times we have to pick up and redirect our line, which we might have 30 or 40 feet out to do so. We have to use larger flies, and also just from a practical standpoint, it allows you to really feel your line load quite a bit better. So let's talk about a little bit about what it is. On our last video, we did just the one-handed motion just to create the form. So I'm going to explain to you how I started. After I got to this level and perfected this level as much as you can for just what it is, here's step one. We're going to do it in a two-step process. Step one is we're going to hold the line with our open hand. Now what's going to happen as we raise the fly rod, as we break our wrist back, sharply break that wrist back to load that line, we're going to now pull at the same time with our left hand. Give it just a slight tug. Now what does that do? That slight tug fires that line back. All of a sudden, I can feel my back cast fully load. It's actually like a little thump thump. So for those of you, until you get to the point where it's pure timing, you will feel that, and that is a big help. So again, let's just do that again. Up, back fully loaded, finish the cast. Up, finish the cast. Up, back, finish the cast. Now if you noticed, I let my hand drift almost to where the reel is. You want to let that line go back as it's loading and then just finish the cast forward. Again, up, finish the cast forward. Okay, step two, and this is the part that generally gives people fits, and the reason why I say that is because boy, did it do that to me. Step one's fairly simple. Step two just doesn't feel right, and it took me quite a bit of time before I could put step one and step two together to make it work. But I can promise you this, when you finally feel it, it's gonna be like a light switch that clicks on, and it makes everything so much easier. So let's talk about that. Step one, here. Here's step two. Step one, back there, step two. Again, as you go forward now, as you go forward, you give it another little tug at the same time that you break your wrist forward, and that just shoots the line forward, okay? Back, forward, back, forward, back, let it drift back, forward, and look at it go. Okay, back, forward. That just shot out 35, 40 feet of line without almost any effort whatsoever. Now remember, this is a little bit technical, but also, you don't want to force it. It'll come. Just go back, drift back, and let it go. Back, let it go. Back, drift there, let it go. So let's take a look at it from the other side so you can see how my hand is working here. Okay, back, forward, back, shoot forward, back, let it drift, little flick forward, back, a little flick forward, it's not a lot, little flick forward, back, little flick forward, back, little flick. Now what I want you to do is, this is going to take a lot of practice to get this right. This is not a simple thing until, like I said, you finally feel it. So like our first episode a few times ago when we were just going airborne, that's what I want you to do here too. I used to just do this, back and forth. Don't let it hit behind you, don't let it hit in front of you. Just back and forth, back and forth. Now notice one thing. I'm shooting 35, 40 feet of line with almost no effort whatsoever. What I don't want you to do, I don't want to see your body swaying around a lot, because when you do that, you're going to just throw things into your line. It's not going to lay flat. It's going to curl off to one side. It's not going to straighten out. So again, look, it's just timing. Back, now forward. Notice this too. Very little motion is needed. Now, this is just for practice. As it gets windier, you will find that maybe a longer caster is necessary, or you just have to throw it a little bit into the wind a little bit harder. Then what you can do is you can open up that stance to allow for that. But we're going to touch on that later on when we get on the boat. So for now, again, we're going to just do this, back, a little tug forward, little tug back, little tug forward, little tug back. Now one thing else which is going to be interesting that you're going to see as things progress too, as you're casting, you need to feed line out. And without double hauling, you can't do that. But watch what happens when you double haul. As you do this, we let line drift through our fingers. Back, I let it go forward. Back, forward. Now, why are we doing that? That's necessary as we gauge our distance to our target. So again, it's this motion right here. As you lift up, as you break your wrist, you give it a little pop with your hand, allow it to come back and meet it as you go forward, as you drive forward, as you pop it forward again, another little pull at the line and let it go. Back, forward, keep it airborne for a while, and then go ahead and practice feeding line out as you go. That's something, like I said, we're going to show a little bit later when we get on the boat. But I'm also going to put this in slow-mo mode here so you can really get a good sense on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So take a look at the second part of this, and believe me, it will come. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but you will get this sooner or later. All right, so as you can see, my wrist breaks back, my left hand meets the reel. As I go forward, my right hand breaks forward, my left hand goes with it. A little pull back, drift my hand back as I go forward. It's a pull at the same time. The line will go forward. Same motion over and over again. Little pull back, bring it up to the reel. As I break my wrist forward, another little pull, which will fire the line forward. This is a motion. Take your time, nice and easy. Just work it back and forth over and over. Just keep it going back and forth. This is an exercise that you should do. Just keep it airborne, going back and forth. It'll take a little time to pick it up, but when you do, you will certainly love the feeling that you're going to get with that line shooting through that rod. So just practice and good luck.